Yeah, I know.
I want to tell you the story of this.
And then Officer Ted, then my question B was, and I was also there when they killed the mayor's father because of the residency rule.
Well, I was going to tell you this.
I was going to say
real quick story.
Yeah.
So I should know my daughter Taylor, right? When me and my daughter's mother split up, I was still living in East Cleveland.
Right.
I had, at that time, she was like 4. While at work one night, I had to answer a domestic that happened to had me across the street from my house. And I had to arrest the lady because she slammed her son on his head. So I had, and she was drunk. She was drunker than drunk. So I had to arrest this lady. 3 or 4 days later, I'm sitting on my stairs, my daughter riding her bike up and down the street. This lady comes out the house and gets after my daughter. This city right here is too small to have a residency law.
For police officers, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Now, Cleveland, a city like Cleveland, where you can be a police officer on the east side and live on the west side, maybe. But the Constitution states you can live anywhere you can afford to live.
Well, I mean,
You can't make me live
Oh, so
here.
now you're not gonna get to.
well, oh yeah,
Right,
right. But I just stated, I came from a county, and I still believe if I'm gonna pay you my money, I'm not gonna pay you my money to take it back to Gaza and wherever you go. That's just what I'm gonna do. Point 2 is because I'm paying, and if I'm paying, I'm talking. So the deal is, then that goes back to point 2 is, if the citizens had the unions that the police officer had, we wouldn't be wrong all the time.
Well, you know what? Interesting you say that, and then I think it's
We
one
wouldn't
more before we
be wrong all
vote.
the time.
There is a movement right now in this
Exactly.
city where they're trying to get a citizens review
Review board.
together
Review board.
to deal with police incidents as a collective entity as opposed to just going to.
But I don't live in
things
East
like that.
Cleveland,
So
so you know they.
but you know what?
But you making money in East Cleveland to take where you live at.
But Cleveland Heights.
Oh.
No, but Cleveland Heights.
Oh.
But I pay taxes in
Cleveland
both.
Heights ain't no big
Oh, I pay taxes in
Cleveland
both.
Heights
They got the coolest system on it.
Now, you know what?
Everybody else is
I'm
Christmas.
gonna say this.
Everybody else is Christmas.
I'm gonna say
I
that.
pay
Listen up.
taxes.
I grew up.
Listen up, everyone.
And I grew up in East Cleveland, and you know, I was in the streets. I sold drugs and stuff like that. Now, my experience with the police officer in East Cleveland, the Johnsons, and you know, guys like that are no longer here, was when they used to catch me with a sack. You know what they used to do? They'd take it and crush it, and tell me to get on somewhere. And then they'd talk to me. They'd be like, man, you don't belong out here, man. The world is way bigger than what you're doing. You're destroying your community, blah, 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 blah. So, I remember that. That's why I'm not, I mean, I'm against bad cops. Yeah.
I'm against bad
But
cops.
you remember the good.
I remember the good ones, though.
Absolutely.
I remember the ones that would come to the schools and, you know, talk to the kids, and it wasn't all, you know, crazy. And they used to look out for me, man. And when my mother called, they came. You know what I'm saying? That's what I remember.
Absolutely.
And like they said, what you want to get out of this is survival.
That's it.
This is a traffic stop shouldn't take no more than 10 minutes
Right.
if you ride.
Excellent.
If,
Absolutely.
if you let it flow,
If you
You
let it flow.
just let it flow.
I done been pulled over in Cleveland, driving under suspension, and I'm 10 and 2. I might have my hand out the window.
Just because you don't want no problem.
They let me go. Because I'm not like, man, what you pull me over for, man? You tripping. I'm already
You ain't got
getting
nothing
down.
better to do.
And you know what I like about that? It's because when you drive under suspension, technically that officer has the ability to arrest you
And
tow your car. So he's telling you that your interaction, a lot of that was when I put up there, your responsibility, you often have the ability to control that interaction by your response. But oftentimes our young people are just ready to assert our rights. I have a right, sir. What law are you stopping me under? Just chill. I mean, especially if you know
You got it right.
When I
You
roll
got the
my
right to
window
remain
down.
silent. Anything you say and do can be used against you in the court.
Right. When I roll my window down, ain't no plumes of weed smoke coming out.
Right.
That's probably my call.
You know what's crazy? I can drive up and down the street. My police car is a black Crown Vic, no markings on it. I drive up and down Euclid Avenue. You'd be surprised at how many times I'm just driving down the street and I can smell the marijuana from the car in front of me. My windows are up. Their windows are up, and I can still smell it.
Do you stop them?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Go ahead.
Depends on what I'm
So
doing.
I was just in court for driving under suspension.
Okay.
So as soon as I got pulled over, he like, license insurance. I'm like, man, I ain't got nothing, you know what I'm saying? So he like, "Well, what you doing driving, blocking, skip all this other stuff?" So he like, "Are you going to jail?" I'm like, "You driving on suspension?" He like, "Yeah." I'm like, alright. So he put me in the back of the police car, you know, ran my name and all that. And I was cool though. So he like, "Well, you ain't gonna go to jail." No, he like, "I'm gonna give you some good news or bad news. Which one you want first?" I'm like, "Well, I want the bad news." So he like, "Well, we torn the car." I'm like, "All right, so what's the good news?" He like, "You ain't going to jail. You gotta walk." Oh, all right, that's cool.
And I'm gonna tell you
But
this.
do you know how many people believe that you can't take somebody to jail for driving under suspension?
Man, that is crazy. No,
Check this
I know
out.
you can, but
Listen to this, and we wind now because I know we're all gonna roll. I just was told today in court, because if you come to my court, you know that for driving under suspension, you're gonna pay fines and costs, but I'm not gonna put you in jail. Just because I look at the situation of driving under suspension differently. I look at it as an economic issue and all types of other things. But there was a man in front of me today. His lawyer said, my client is currently serving a sentence, was it 94?
90 weekends.
90 weekends in jail for driving under suspension, and he's already completed 48 from downtown. So the point
You
is,
got caught again?
no, we was all the case here was like, the case here was old, it was like 98, so his attorney wanted to help him clear up all that other stuff. But this guy is currently in the middle of 90 weekends in jail. You got to report every weekend.
You gotta go to the workout.
Every weekend for driving under suspension. So the key is, look,
So that come after you get the yellow plates.
no, that
That's DUI.
yellow plates for DUI. You get
Oh,
caught with
driving
that.
suspension, that just like
Simply not having a license.
Not having a valid driver's license.
90 days. Now listen to this, 90 weekends. So that's the key. So as we wind down, we're gonna, first of all, make sure you bring your clipboards up here, turn them in, and your pens. But the point of the program, the reason we do this is because we want you to survive these interactions. What we saw in the video is not the way to survive. Let's just keep it real. We can talk about your rights all day. What I suggest is if the officer is violating your rights, get his badge number, get as much as you can remember about the encounter, either call you a lawyer, go to internal affairs. Believe me, they do investigate after a while, whether it's immediately or not. But do not fight that situation on the street. Don't talk about your rights, because maybe the officer may not even know it. He's not a lawyer. So when you run that stuff to him, all he's thinking is, I know one thing, if you don't roll this window down, if you get up this car, I'm breaking the window. And he can do that.
So do you all do that for real though? Like break windows and then roll down?
That was for real.
No, I'm talking about like yours. East Cleveland.
Well, you said you would have done that. What would, all right, last thing, Captain, what would you have done, and have you ever encountered that same situation?
I've encountered all them situations. I'm gonna say on a lot of situations I've been fortunate. There's no way to put this lightly. I've been fortunate enough to come strong enough that people finally comply. Matter of fact, for a long time when I was a patrolman, they used to call me the beggar in the police department because they used to tell me I begged people not to go to jail. But, real. But in that instance, when you will not roll that window down, in my mind, you're going to jail. Now you can get out that car on your own, or I'm gonna come in and get you, but you're going to jail. I don't care nothing about the door, I don't care nothing about the window, I don't care nothing about the car. Because anything that happens, you made it happen because you didn't comply with what I said. All you had to do was push the button and let the window down. Just like this.
Captain, that goes back to his first statement,
That's all
y'all.
it took was,
Hopefully you all were here for his very first statement, which is right now, the tone in our city, in our country, is a lack of respect for authority. So that woman, that's a prime example. She was like,
That's a prime
I'm not gonna roll it down. She felt she had more authority over that vehicle, which she probably paid a car note, all that stuff, may have paid it off. She felt she had more control on that scene than an officer of the law.
And
That was the problem.
and Judge, you're here. How many people realize when you got your driver's license what you agreed to?
The privileges by the state.
Which are to abide by
all the rules and laws.
and the orders and directions given by police.
Yes, sir.
When you got your driver's license, that's what you
And it
agreed
is a
to.
privilege.
It's a
When you
privilege.
sign,
It is
that's
a
what you agreed to. And when you go to court, they're gonna go by what you signed.
Last comment?
That video, I mean, you got two parts to it. She was wrong on some of her ends, but then again, like, y'all police officers, but some of these police officers, like, y'all demeanor be way off. Like,
Well,
Was his off? Was his way off?
But I'm
like
gonna do
his
this.
was way off. Like, I would have felt like something was wrong with you. You just own it. Like,
So when was his way off? When he first asked him to roll down the window, or the 30th time? When
it's
was
just
his way
like,
off?
I mean, I've been told a million times. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. If you come at me rough, and I'm just wondering why I'm getting pulled over, wondering why, and I got rights to questions. Like,
You getting pulled over. If you get a citation, the reason you got pulled over is gonna be on this citation.
but then it goes like,
You don't tell.
If you just be patient and he will tell he will tell you.
He gonna
You'll
tell you.
receive it. But see, that's the thing. We
But, like,
jump
some
to
of
the
these officers
assertion of
out
our
here,
rights.
like,
And the reason
they
why
treat
the
me like,
The reason why we jump to it is because of lack of emotional intelligence. You gotta be able to stuff that stuff down.
Calm it down.
You
Just
can cuss them
survive.
out.
That's why I say
When you
yes,
pull
sir,
off,
sir.
you can say whatever you want in your car to yourself,
To your friend.
I mean,
And say what you gonna do. I'm gonna go to Internal Affairs. I shouldn't have got this ticket. I'm gonna
Right
call my
then.
attorney.
right here. If you challenge them on the street, you're gonna lose.
You will never win an interaction on the street with an officer.
I feel like, cause I used to be like you. I used to be like, well, I'm in the right when talking to the police, so you talking to me crazy and everything. But as of today, I feel like it's so many killings going on. I don't care if I feel like I'm wrong or whatever. Where you want me to move to, left or right?
Cause you feel like
I'm
you
but not complaining on anything. On anything, just because it's so many different killings going on. I ain't trying to be that person. You don't know what that police officer about to do or what's going through their head or whatever. You want me to move officer to the left or to the right, back or front, how fast, how slow?
Cause you wanna go home.
Cause you wanna go home.
Right.
You wanna live. You wanna survive.
I'm not about to argue.
Yes, sir.
I'm not about to
Yeah,
You wanna talk about it
that's
instead of being talked about.
Right.
killing people that's actually innocent. It don't matter if you jump right, left, back and forward.
But you gotta
stand there and make
advantage.
that. You not
gotta
gonna.
get
No,
back.
it ain't no. If you just have like,
It's
we
a
just have like
gamble.
heavy killings just because you add left, right.
But listen to this.
You don't
This is
know
what I'm saying.
happens.
And I'm gonna say this because I know. Listen up.
Listen.
Couple things that's important with this one, and I see this because I do the program. One is we have a difference in generations, which is excellent.
Exactly. Just because.
Hold on, listen up. We have a difference in generations. So we have your generation, we have her generation, we have even older. So you can see the difference in maturity. Listen up, because I'm addressing yours specifically. And this is why this is important. Because we could, and we probably will talk about it on the next time, but one of the things we can do, if we all drop our emotions for a moment and look at the facts of every situation, we can run down Ferguson situation, we can run down what happened in New York, and I'm sure if we take a level head about it, we can point out many things the officer did wrong and other things that could have been done so that nobody died. That is the key. I have not yet seen on TV yet, and it could be, don't get me wrong, because it happened especially to African Americans back in the day, where an officer walked up to a car recently, pulled out his gun, and shot somebody in the head.
What?
That has not happened. The point is, there's always some exchange where somebody loses control. All we want you to do in this room is survive that exchange. Even when you look at the New York situation, we can show that, but the first few seconds of that video, if you recall, is the guy saying, I'm tired of y'all always harassing me, not today, it's not gonna happen. And all I'm saying to everybody in here, because I care about y'all, do not say that to any officer. It's not worth the risk. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't make anything that happened right. All I'm saying is, I want each and every one of you to live till tomorrow. Don't be the martyr on the street that we're marching about. I mean, unless that's how you want to go out. But be the person that, like we said, that can come here and talk about it. You know what? You can change. If you live, you can help change the laws. So I'm just saying, that's why we do it. It doesn't make anything right. And oftentimes, it's a level of growth. It's a level of maturity. It's a level of knocking your head up against the system enough times. I mean, Tyson was gracious enough to share with us. He served 11 years. But I bet you 20 years ago, he was feisty. You know, ready to roll. But now a grown man with children, with a family, this man said he ain't saying a word to an officer. It all depends. So, but look, these are the conversations we have to have. This is why we do it. I will see you all next week.
Let me just say.
Hold on,
let me
wait up.
just say one
Two
thing.
things before you leave. We're gonna hear from him, and we need you to bring your clipboard with the paper on the end of it. Hold on, wait. After my brother.
Okay, listen, no. Now,
Then we're done.
Judge Dawson says emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Okay, you only responsible for you. You can't be responsible for the officer having emotional intelligence.
Absolutely.
You just can't.
Right. Control what you